Matzo ball soup?
Yeah.
Was that your first time having matzo ball soup? Because it's a Jewish thing. So your mother would not have made it because it was more of a Jewish food. So your mother probably did not make matzo ball soup. It's famous for being something that Jewish people like to have. So let me ask you, how did you like matzo ball soup?
Not bad.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah.
They call it Jewish penicillin because when you're sick, your Jewish mother or grandmother always says, "Have some matzo ball soup, you'll feel better," and so they call it Jewish penicillin.
So you remember Eric's mother? You met Eric's mother. Yeah.
Yes.
She made soup for me.
Oh, she's the one who made the soup.
Yes.
See. Okay.
Yeah, but he would not have met the father because he died in like 1950.
Yeah.
What else do you remember about Grandma Silber?
I know that she volunteered in the hospital at
Yes.
Elmhurst.
Oh, she did?
That's right. At Elmhurst Hospital, she did.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's sort of like a candy striper, as they would call it back then.
But she was a trained physician.
She had gone to medical school, and she was a dentist with a medical degree, but she didn't. She couldn't practice once they left Austria. Mm-hmm. Just like my grandfather was a physician, he practiced, I think, without a license in Dominican Republic, but he couldn't really practice, once he came here.
Your grandfather did what?
He was a doctor in Vienna. They were both doctors. Yeah. When they fled to the Dominican Republic, neither one was legally allowed to practice because they weren't licensed
to work
to work in the Dominican Republic. But so they would apparently at least my grandfather would see patients like secretly. They would go see him, and I think Dad said they called him the German doctor, because of his accent. He was Austrian, but they called him the German El Doctor Alemán in Spanish. They called him El Doctor Alemán, the German doctor, because he had a German accent. It's funny. I did not know my father had a German accent until I went to college. And he would call, in the days before cell phones, we all shared one phone, and my roommate would pick up the phone, and it was my father calling, and if I wasn't there, they would tell me later that I had a message from Eric von Silber. And I didn't know why they were saying that. And the joke was that his accent was so thick that they could barely, they had a hard time understanding his English. And I grew up with him, and not only could I understand him, I did not hear an accent, but to other people he had a very pronounced accent, like Henry Kissinger, like easy to make fun of, well, like that. So that's what I remember. Anything else you remember about Grandmother Silber besides the chickens, the matzo ball soup, and the working in the hospital?
I remember she lived like across from the hospital.
Yes,
in an apartment on Broadway.
She lived on Broadway, just like we did. Long after she died, or some years after she died, we also moved to a different part of Broadway.